Commence primary ignition.
Hey, this is Obi Tahi. I play Dr. Pershing, and you are watching the Virtual Cantina Network.
Aha.
Woo.
Good. I see what you did there.
Haha, yes. Try to tie it in as much as I can.
Absolutely. So hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to, the watch alongy thing that we do. Did you share to the group there, Jeff?
No, let me do the Insta real quick.
Okay, you do the Insta and I'll do the group. So we're doing all the things and getting ready. So
I will sit here and not press any buttons.
Yep.
No buttons for me, so I will not be pressing buttons. I will just sit here.
Skip some buttons.
Tell all the wonderful people watching us.
Skip needs all the buttons.
I don't need any buttons.
Like, those old lady phones with the big giant buttons, like the jitterbug. Do you remember the jitterbug? The jitterbug phone. That's what Skip needs.
Like this? Dave, is that what you're talking about?
No. There was like ones where people had cell phones, but they were big giant buttons.
Oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
You need that. That's what you need.
So I can't share directly to the group there. So let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to try and copy the little link because Facebook is Facebooking right now.
That's not good.
Tends to do. Let's see if it'll let me just go. Boop.
All right. Well, I had shared it previously to. Oh, I forgot to put that up. Let me do that while we're talking.
So anyway, hi. Thanks for bearing with us.
I want to talk to everybody out there in wonderful whatever world we happen to be broadcasting in live.
That is right. We are on all the streams and all the things and all
the wonderful whatever world.
Filling in for Spencer tonight will be Skip playing the part of Spencer.
You're playing the part of Dave, and Dave is playing the part of Spencer.
See, that's right. It's swapped. It's like
I'm not usually here regularly on Thursday.
Well, that's true. But also, I usually put Spencer on the other side, opposite of me.
Well, and here's the thing. You guys are way too late. This show needs to start earlier. It is 9:33 on the East Coast. By the time we start not one show, but two shows, it will be 10 o'clock. That will take us into quarter till 11, quarter till 12 before
the witching hour.
But if we don't start that late, then, people's like the Jeff are like trapped in traffic and can't,
Takes me like a half hour to get my computer to boot up. I think it's time to get a new one.
Why is that?
So trying to get on, maybe 5:30 is possible for as opposed to 6:30 here on the West Coast.
Do it, don't turn it off.
Yeah, no. This computer is too old to not turn off. It will get mad at me.
It's definitely time for you to get a new computer.
Yes, if you cannot turn the computer off.
I can turn it off. I can't leave it on.
Let's do this. We're going to start a GoFundMe page for Jeff so that he can have a computer at home that we can all appreciate him being able to do his duties on the Virtual Cantina Network.
Yeah, so this Mac is at least 13 years old.
Well, but it's a Mac. They last.
That's the difference, yeah. So, but it's still not up to what it should be in terms of, it's 13-year-old speeds. So.
Yes. But it's, good enough to be running the streams while we're getting ready to get, your Disney Plus machines queued up on your little phones.
And I play Disney Plus on it while we're StreamYarding, and sometimes I have Photoshop open doing stuff in the background.
See, I have a desktop that I'm using, and this is a 32-inch monitor that I use. And then I watch the show on the TV that is a 50-inch, I think, right above.
Wow. I have a 32-inch monitor over here with another browser window open with my Disney Plus on it, and then I'm on a 24-inch or something.
Oh, and even though I shared this with Dave and Jeff, we have to share it with everybody. If Skip disappears tonight, it's because there's a rather nasty thunderstorm going through the area. Oh, and by the way,
both will disappear.
One going through
believe
Dave's territory as well. So if Dave and I both disappear, Jeff's just going to keep on talking.
Yes.
I'll vamp as it
Only
goes.
any
by the
different than
way,
any
am
other.
watching on my phone on this little bitty screen. But
See, I should do that. That way, then I can put on. See, I can get up. Hold on. I can grab the old Grogu phone holder.
Aha.
And that way I can use my Bluetooth earphones so I can actually listen to it instead of just reading the word.
Well, yeah, there you go. So I decided to wear my appropriate hat, especially for the photo that we're in front of here.
oh yes.
Although it's not the right color. It's olive drab as opposed to black, but it's pretty close.
You are the outdoor officer.
Yeah, that's whatever it is.
I don't know what the difference is.
I have no idea.
But, yeah, so like
Except ISB is white.
Everybody out
Only
there
they have black
in the streaming land, tell us, like, how are you watching Andor? Do you guys all watch all 3 episodes when it drops at 9:00 on a Tuesday, or do you have to space it out or do something, or do you need like room to let it breathe?
Some of these episodes that we're going to be watching tonight, some of them are extremely intense. I think this whole arc is like the most tension of the entire show, even last season. But it's I have the luxury of it dropping at 6 p.m. my time, so
right.
I can get it over with in by the time 9 p.m. rolls around. If I just watch,
I usually get like 1.5 in before I go. Okay, I'm going to sleep, and then I get up in the morning, and I get up early enough that I can probably watch the second half of the second episode, and then I manage to squeeze in the third episode, like after I get home, but before dinner time. So by the end of the second day, I've usually wiped them out.
They've been heavily, fairly consistent. Not exactly, but the show lengths in terms of 3 episodes has been 2.5 hours at least, right? Upwards of close to 2:45, 3, but that's if you watch all the credits on every episode. I've been jumping through the credits when I watch them live, or not live, but when they first air. So but my worry there is, are they going to do a post-credit scene? So I'm sure I'm going to watch at least the last episode all the way through the credits. But we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't. That's the same thing. I haven't even bothered watching the credits because I'm figuring there's no post-credit scenes. Why would you put a post-credit scene when the next episode is a click away?
Yeah, exactly.
But the last one, there might be something.
Here, Sherry's got an idea there.
All 3 in the all separately before the lot. See, Sherry's doing her homework.
Sherry,
this is the wrong show for that. That's
even
your show tomorrow night.
She watched the episode of Rebels that continues after the episode they're going to watch tomorrow.
Was it Secret Cargo? Secret Cargo?
Yeah, that's it, I think. And so that continuation, one of the reasons you need to watch the other stuff, especially the animation, because there's things you wouldn't see in the show, because we're at the end of 2 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yep.
And
2BBY.
Then we're not going to see Mon Mothma. Even I don't know if we're going to see Mon Mothma anymore in this show. But what she does in that episode of Rebels is very much helps fill in sort of what leads into Rogue One.
We could see Mon Mothma because if they are spending more time at Yavin.
Well, that's true. She's at
Yavin.
Yeah, she's going there, right? Was she going to be escorted there, or where was she going to get
escorted? Scissors, Lizard, and Spock.
5 hands or something is what it's called.
Yes.
But yeah, so the Gold Squadron is supposed to escort her somewhere, but I can't remember what they said. So we'll find out some more about that during either tonight or tomorrow's watch along. But it's interesting how the Friday night folks have been getting like the super intense Mon Mothma stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some of that, but they like get the culmination of all the stuff that's built up.
The kapow.
Well, I think that's the way the format
The
is
caboose.
going.
Yeah,
The caboose has the best load.
The what?
The caboose has the best load.
Oh, okay.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Nice caboose. Okay.
The thing.
I married
Okay.
a caboose.
There you go.
So, anyways, there's other stuff's happened recently in terms of announcements and things that we have going on outside of watch-alongs. We
Oh yeah.
we had a great well, I wasn't on it, I just watched it. Great news desk yesterday with Spencer and Mark and three of the guys from Rebel Scum Con.
Yes.
And they talked about tickets going on sale, and the VIP tickets have sold out already.
Boom.
There was a limited number.
Hours.
And they were gone fairly quickly. And right now we're like a fifth of the way through the ticket sales in general.
Yeah, so if you're looking to get tickets for the Boonty Eve special edition, Everything's Bigger in Texas, Rebels CumCon, that's a long name. We need to shorten. There needs to be an acronym.
Okay, hold on.
Can we call it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something? I don't know.
Are the VIP tickets sold out for the Boonta Eve, or the VIP tickets sold out for the Rebel Scum? That's a little bit
for Boonta Eve.
For Boonta Eve. Yes.
So that's for Boonta Eve. So our event at the Revel Bar and Grill in Frisco, Texas, the Friday of Rebel Scum Con, will be regular tickets available currently for anybody who wants to.
Yeah, you can still come. There are still tickets. There are plenty of tickets. Come and see. It's just this super secret double handshake probation, whatever stuff.
All the cool kids are going to be in their assigned seats and getting their extra swag already. Good to go.
The Steve Urkel specials are gone.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, I was talking the other day is you have freaking spoiled me. We're going to have to when 27 comes around, damn it, we're going to have to be talking about getting some of that. I can't go back, man.
Yeah, I felt that after 22. The ease of access just, it's a different experience. And since I'm not spending any money to fly anywhere in 27.
Yeah.
Although I probably will get a hotel closer to the convention center than where I live.
You should go to John Wayne and fly to LAX and take the train to the convention center.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Disneyland and then take a shuttle from Disneyland to Santa Ana, fly up from there to LAX in a helicopter because I don't think there's any actual flights, and then take the light rail from there to on the green line to the blue line, and then up to the station right by the convention center, and I'll be good to go.
Is that the one that burned up in Tommy Lee Jones's movie? Is that the line? Which line is that? That was the red line. Wasn't that the red line?
What year was that?
I don't know when Volcano came out, man. Come on.
I'm thinking in terms of where the lava flowed, it was probably the red line because that's the one that goes through Hollywood and under the hill over to
one
Universal.
That went under MacArthur Park.
Yeah, so the one that's in that area is the red line. It goes from downtown to Hollywood and to North Hollywood.
1997.
Yeah. So that was fairly new, I think, at that time.
Right.
Not even
it wasn't finished. It was finished like they stopped digging at the Beverly Center.
Right. Well,
I don't know about reality. That's in the movie.
There's a different line. It's a purple line that goes into Beverly Hills now. I think it's purple. But that's going to go.
It's where the blue line and the red line meet.
Yeah, the colors merge. So there's a lot of colorful lines. They've changed the names over the years. The newest one that goes by near my house and goes actually near my work. There's a stop designated with my work's name on it, even though it's blocks away. That's the Expo line, which I think has another color designation.
See, right there. That's the red. It's tricky. Like if
see,
Tommy
the volcano got her son. Oh my God.
No.
She lost her son to the volcano on the red line. Yeah, well, it's easy to get lost or mixed up in transit. I did that a lot in Tokyo. So
that didn't happen, did it, Skip? Nobody ever got on the wrong train going no.
Had to do a little backtracking or walking when you didn't expect it, or trying to find another mode of transportation.
That's a picture of Skip and I together in a way too small bus seat. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's squishing into
then
those
there's
seats.
the trains that close down at like 11 o'clock or so.
Yep, that was the other thing.
Hey,
everybody, we got to go an extra hour. Oh, shit, we forgot that the transit system shuts down at that time.
Yeah, we all needed to get the hell out of there.
Thankfully, I was in walking distance to my hotel and didn't have to worry about that.
No, that was. I've heard that story, Sherry. That is a bad. Wow.
Yeah, you got to be paying attention. You don't want to get left on the platform when the rest of your party boards a train, especially when you're hundreds of feet underground with likely little to no signal to be able to communicate.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a big issue. But yeah, so
yeah, but
yeah, I hope to splurge on VIP as well, Sherry. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a matter of timing, and then also getting somebody else to buy you a ticket that costs $1,000 is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah,
I mean, not that you're not going to pay them, or I'm not going to pay them back. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, do they have the money to work with, et cetera, et cetera. Considering the other tickets are going to be closer to $200 for a 4-day.
Right. Yeah, which that's a little bit easier.
So that is my plan as well, and hopefully that comes to fruition. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they can get some new work done on the LA Convention Center. That there's plans
that's all
for
the plan is
remodeling
that they're remodeling that entire like big giant area between like there and USC and the whole thing for the Olympics and the
there's a lot of updating going on both to the convention center area proper and around the Coliseum. And yeah, they want to use a lot of venues around the city. So
what do you think? I mean, you know, being that this is not Anaheim, but in LA, what's going to be close by that they're going to want to take advantage of?
You mean things to do near the convention center?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the Lucas Museum's down by the Coliseum in USC.
Right.
So that's a straight shot down Figueroa, about a mile and a half, maybe. So that's a quick Uber ride. That's not too bad. Or the train. You can jump on the train at the flower stop that's near the convention center. It's like a block away. Take the train and get off right at Exposition Boulevard, and you'll be, you know, a block from Lucas Museum, as well as the Science Center, which has the shuttle Endeavor in a upright position with
the full stack.
Yeah, 2 motors and the booster rocket attached, like it was sitting on the platform in Cocoa Beach, Florida, at Cape Canaveral. The building is insane that they've built around the shuttle. They had to put it up and then finish the building around it, and they just finished like the roof recently. That's going to be an intense thing to see. I really need to get there soon just to check it out. Last time I was at the Science Center, they had it in a tent. And it was just sitting there, you know, in regular position, but it was still amazing to see.
And that's still ridiculous because that's the way the one in DC is.
Yeah,
They've got a shuttle at Udvar Hazy at the Reagan National Airport, and it's just sitting there, the flat one, and it's still.
Yeah, it's very impressive to walk under the wings and, you know, see it up close. It's amazing. A friend of mine who's part of the group and who tends to definitely would be cool to see it. A friend of mine, Chris, who's part of the group and lives in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and worked and still works at Cape Canaveral and with those folks over there doing rocket launches. He worked on the crawler that would move the shuttle in its upright position from the hangar to the launch pad. He is kind of jealous of our setup. So,
because they have one there as well. I think they have the Atlantis.
That's possible. I'm not sure what's where. We have Endeavor. That's all I know. And the last time I'd seen last time I saw the Endeavor was in the tent that it was currently housed in with the with the booster rockets or the motors or whatever it was, like behind the tent where you could sort of see them, but you couldn't go like near them. And that was at a beer fest, which was amazing, getting drunk underneath the wing of the space shuttle. And prior to that, I saw it literally in the middle of Martin Luther King Boulevard at Crenshaw as it made its way through LA from LAX, where I actually had seen it on the tarmac prior to that.
Where's the Enterprise?
It's a good question. I'm not sure where any of the other ones are.
I mean, that was the original one.
Probably
really flew. That was their let's
space.
make a dummy one to show everybody to get them all excited about it.
Right. It was like the first one sent out or something.
But the Enterprise isn't a fully or never was a fully functioning shuttle.
Oh wow.
The Enterprise was made for glide tests only. Like they would take it off.
Oh, they would take it up on the plane and then let it go.
Take it up on the plane and they'd take off with it and like separate.
Right.
And do the things. Let's see. Enterprise is in New York. Is on the Intrepid, the deck of the Intrepid.
Right.
Oh wow, that's a trip. What a trip. Anyways,
yeah,
they are very impressive.
Is one at Reagan National, or at the Udvar Hazy Center. Atlantis is at Kennedy Space Center, and Endeavor, of course, is at the California.
Which one's at Smithsonian?
So technically, Udvar Hazy is a branch of the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah, but that's not what I was really asking.
What do you mean? Like, there's not one on the mall in DC. It's that museum is too small. These things
they have an X-wing at the Smithsonian, though, right?
They do.
Yeah,
that's it. That's at the one that you're talking about. The unless they moved it recently, it was out at near Reagan.
Yeah, is that the Udvar Hazy is the branch of the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. There's a branch on the mall in DC that has the Wright Flyer and the Bell X-1, the Glamorous Glennis. It has Amelia Earhart's first plane, or the red plane is might still have the original filming model of the USS Enterprise from Star Trek. That's like a 6 or 7 foot model of that.
Well, besides the Science Center in Exposition Park, there's also the Natural History Museum and the Aerospace Museum and the Coliseum proper and the Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts, I believe is what it's called. And there's also another venue, which is where the LA Football Club plays, which is currently, I think, BMO Stadium or something like that, which is a great venue for concerts, in my opinion. As I've never seen a soccer game there and don't have any real interest, but if I had a ticket, I might go. And then, of course, where the convention center is, right next door is Staples Center. So there's going to be likely some sort of hockey or basketball game happening around the time we're in. You don't
think that they'll use the Staples Center?
So I rethought this. I was thinking that would be great because they're technically on the same property. Where Staples Center sits used to be a exhibit hall for the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
But they took that out and built that venue there. Across the street in LA Live, and actually the street's been closed off, Chick Hearn Lane, Chick Hearn used to be the announcer for the Lakers, very legendary, great voice, great guy. I never met him, but he has actually got a statue outside the Staples Center with a lot of the players. Across the street from Staples is LA Live, and in LA Live is the Peacock Theater, which I think would be a better venue because it's a normal theater venue as opposed to a sports venue that is going to be booked up that time of year in general. So I don't think they would have the ability to really set up in Staples Center for the amount of time they'd want, like a week, right?
Yeah.
But I think they could do it at the Peacock Theater, and it's a big theater, so it would really be great in terms of allowing a lot of people to get that experience on the big stage, which has been lacking, I think, in recent years.
Well, see, like the main stage, the celebration stage in Japan, that state, it really reminded me a lot of the big stage in Anaheim.
Yeah, it was very similar.
It is a very similar building.
Yeah, the building shape is similar. The building size is similar, although I think Anaheim would seat a couple thousand more.
London was very similar to that, to Japan.
But the structure itself is similar in the Makahari Messe Convention Center as well as the Anaheim Convention Center. So that's why I'm hoping that they can, take that knowledge and instead of trying to use a hall as the main stage, which means people in the back have a horrible view, except for the screens, and use the Peacock Theater. I think that would be their best bet. And, it shouldn't be that hard 2 years out to say we need to book this and we can, reserve it and have it ready to go. There is also another theater, not a theater, it's a club. There's actually a couple in that area, that the LA Live thing. What was that called? It was called something else, wasn't it? The one in Chicago. It was something. I thought it started with a W. But anyways, there's another theater. It used to be called the Novo. I'm not sure what it's called currently. It might still be called the Novo. It was also the Conga Room was there, which is more of a club. But there are other spaces. They're not as big. The Novo theater club space wouldn't be the best. It would be an okay medium size kind of stage,
like a streaming stage or some such.
Or some of the other overflow ones.
A fan panel stage.
Yeah, well, bigger than those, but yeah. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, that I think if they think about that, they could work that out. There's also like a parking structure at LA Live that they use the top as an event deck. So I've seen like X Games there, and they'll set up. They did a Batman like Batmobile tour, and they had like a whole bunch of Bat related vehicles in a tent on that top of the parking structure, which was kind of cool to check out. But like they could do a tent up there for any number of things and events and parties and stuff. And also there's right there at LA Live is the JW Marriott and the Ritz-Carlton hotels, which are sort of combined. It's weird.
I just can't. I mean, regardless of whether they use the Staples Center or not, I can't imagine having a sporting event at the same time having Star Wars Celebration. And
it's one of the things about that location is it's gonna the likelihood. I looked at the schedule for this year, and there was stuff around that same weekend.
Yeah.
So the likelihood, I think, is there that there will be either a Lakers or a Kings game Friday and or Saturday, maybe Sunday. And when there's a big con at LA Convention Center and there's a big sporting event at Staples Center, downtown LA turns into a parking lot. So you'll want to try to do as much public transit as you can and stay off of the streets per se. So using the train would be a better idea because parking gets out of hand and traffic gets out of hand. So
just a warning to everybody to get your Disney Plus machines ready.
Almost ready to start. We have 2 episodes tonight, episodes 7 and 8. Very intense first 2 episodes of this 3-episode arc that they dropped this week. And can see some of the players up here. Deidre and her subordinate or whoever that guy is. I guess he's under her for sure.
Do you think they came up with money for the stormtroopers, or did they call in the 501st again?
Well, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure they shot this in England.
In England, but I mean, there's 501st.
501st is all over the world.
Not that it wouldn't. Yeah, I think they may have wised up and maybe commissioned themselves some actual trooper costumes just to use for these shows.
Right.
But yeah, there was a whole bunch of them in these episodes. So the second episode we're going to watch has
Flama First is they pay attention to their movie specific gear.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
They also move
that's
like
right.
original stormtroopers. They know the way that their cadence and stuff, as opposed to just being an actor in a suit. They are very much in the role of a
Yeah, they
stormtrooper.
practiced.
Yeah, they march at the right,
And just in general, they know how to kind of portray that. So, all right, it's time to start this sucker. Let me bring up the countdown. And where did I put it? There, I put it at the bottom. And you guys are good to go?
I am set.
All right, everybody at home, hope you're good to go. Here comes a countdown.
Everybody make sure you're on the right episode. Episode 7. We have had,
Whoops.
experiences with Spencer being on a completely separate episode.
Yeah, let me fix that.
No recaps. You
Don't
gotta have
skip that
Saul
recap.
talking about the people and the breathe and the poison stuff.
Yeah, that stuff he's all into, and it's going to be interesting to see if Wilmon has a similar desire later on. Let me put my headphones on. It's interesting how nobody knows about this planet's resources, including people that live there.
What I thought was rather interesting, because we all had heard, if you're a Rebels fan, or you've heard of the Gorman
Yes. Massacre.
Massacre.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, are we going to see the Gorman massacre, or are they referring to when Tarkin landed and killed 500 Gorman? Then I was like, okay, maybe the massacre's already occurred. They're talking about this thing that happened with Tarkin, but then no, now we're leading up to something bigger that's not that event. So we've got something going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh. There's a lot of sadness here in these previous episodes.
Yeah.
This is Andor. There's a lot of sadness everywhere.
It's a big old downer.
It's Star Wars version of the Titanic.
Mm. I love how she's like looking out the window every time. She's like, it's blinking again. It's blinking again.
I'm telling you, the level of detail that they get. Have you guys seen? I had to look it up because I heard mention and it looked like some level of familiar. The windows in the room where they're talking about the Gorman Massacre or creating the Gorman Massacre, and just looking out over the mountains and the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shot for shot Hitler's headquarters Eagle's Nest.
Oh shit.
Like they have the same big square but little small pane windows, and they're looking out over the mountains. And it's just like, damn, hit somebody over the head. We're not even like alluding to the fact that these people are space Nazis anymore. We're like,
hammer
these
it home.
people are in the spot.
The music continues to be amazing for this show as well. So, and they keep changing as they go. I really wish they would show the gong dude again.
Oh yeah,
they keep playing his gong, but we haven't seen him. And yes, 2 years before the Battle of Yavin. So if the next arc is 1 year before the Battle of Yavin, how is that going to correlate with leading directly into Rogue One?
Because each group of 3 is a
I guess
every year.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Rogue One is closer to New Hope. Rogue One takes place over a longer period of time than what I'm thinking is what ultimately.
Yeah.
It's great to be on Yavin. Some of these sets look incredible, and it's like, how did they even? How much of this is digital? How much of this is real?
I think
Some of the location sets.
This does not look like the volume.
Yeah, no, none of it looks really
Well,
like the volume.
I think a lot of it is not. That's why they're doing a lot of this in England, is to have the locations. They're like filmed at like a not Mercedes. What was it? There was a
it was like a Ferrari showroom or some kind of, not Ferrari, I don't remember what it was, but the car showroom is like the terminal for when they travel. And
so that's what we're coming to find out is when Gorman is happening and how it fits exactly into the timeline for Rogue One.
This is the second Gorman massacre, because they talk about the first one being driven by Tarkin previously, and that's why that monument is there. We don't see how Cassian got this blaster mark. But it's funny how they're like reluctant of the force healing thing. Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry.
What? That's not a thing. What?
It's going to be Baby Yoda out there in the
do the magic hand thingy. Do the magic hand thingy.
One of the other things is like, it's not just like England or British locations, because some of this stuff was shot in Italy, as far as I know, and also Spain. Some of the exterior locations and some of the
like that in England.
Yeah, and some of the like natural locations were shot, I think, in Spain. It's great that the location scouts were able to find such amazing places.
There we go. Background scene in Spain, England, and then the CGI on top of it.
Okay.
I like this little cabin that they live in.
Yeah.
It feels very Ewok-y to me.
Right. It's also very sort of temporary with that sort of like tent roof thing. One of the locations they used near the Senate is supposed to be an Italian concert hall or something like that, because I saw an article that they talked about the design and who the designer was of this piece that fit very well into the Coruscant landscape. But all of it's cool as far as I'm concerned.
You got the dude from Wilman's Get Away from Saul, but now he's under Luthen. So
yeah, it's like under the thumb of somebody.
It's like who's where and who's in charge of what, and it's the big shadow show at this point.
Who's worse? Luthen's sort of over
I
more.
really expected Luthen to lose his grip and his something that's going to happen on Friday night with the girls watching it. I think I kind of expected that not to go down that way, because I thought what they were doing was setting Luthen up to start losing control of everything so that it could transfer over to Yavin, because Luthen's not
right.
with that.
Instead of him pulling the strings kind of thing.
Yeah, and go to more of the rebellion.
Right.
But then it turns out that wasn't the case, that Luthen was on top of things, and he was the one that got something done this time.
I think you're right, Sherry. And I thought at some point that Diego had insinuated that
they returned
some of the scenes had been filmed there for this as well. Maybe not this season, maybe last season when it was young Casa. But I thought he had insinuated that there were some of those as well.
Yavin 4 originally were those like it was Mayan or Incan pyramids were basically what they were kind of using as the base. The new one looks a slightly different design to me, but it could just be that we see it better.
The lack of door and openness kind of reminds me of Hawaii, because the hotels don't have doors in them, and it stays the same temperature all year long.
Right.
And they're more open. And this kind of environment could be built like this, in a temperate climate like Hawaii is.
Mm-hmm. I love how he says she was waiting to be killed. And
I'm very curious to see what the what the disposition of Dedra is when it's all over.
Oh, after what she's been through in these coming episodes.
Oh,
yes.
So here's the Google. The Google says that for the TV series Andor, Yavin 4 was filmed at the ancient Mayan ruins of Tikal National Park in Guatemala, the same location where it was filmed in episode 4.
Nice. That's the ideal way to do it. Return to the original. It definitely looks better than trying to do something in the volume, although the volume's amazing, but not for everything.
My lights just blinked.
Uh-oh. Skips. He's building plausible deniability for.
The rain's kind of slowed down a little bit, but.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Somebody was talking about how a lot of these are like FaceTime style interactions versus the holograms that we're used to seeing. Everybody being in hologram form.
Well, that was one of the things I commented on, I think, on the last episode.
Yeah.
Is that the technology's gotten they're making it a little bit more modern than it being the 70s stuff.
Right. But it's also still got that retro feel, like, the CRT looking TVs and monitors and a small kind of 4x3 form factor,
but the actual display on it's a little bit too crispy.
Yeah. Well, that's digital, obviously. They can make it look as good or bad as they want. But some of the graphics, and especially on those big screens that we've seen in previous episodes, are so like rudimentary, but it's amazing to see them like super huge. Cyril's like, I'm gonna kick some ass. His space tie weirds me out every time I see it.
That's got to be the new cosplay. We need that.
What's that?
Tie.
Find yourself a space tie and a trench coat, and
Cyril with his space tie. Yeah. And I love how there was all this speculation, which ended up being from the still of Dedra, like being like out of breath, that we saw, or the clip from the trailer, and everybody was like, Vader was choking her out. It's like, no, very much something different.
It was funny. I was in London, and of course, season 1 of Andor was out, and there was a girl there who was cosplaying as Dedra, and I got a picture of her, and literally came out of the final panel for Japan. They announced it's going to be Los Angeles, and they're bringing everybody out, and you got just like a little bit of a run through the main area before you leave, and I ran into the same woman that had been in London cosplaying as Dedra. She was in Japan that day, Sunday, cosplaying as Dedra, and I got a picture of her in Japan and in London. Wow,
halfway around the world. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because that works really well with I'm gonna not finish that sentence because that doesn't work.
Upset people in general, I think.
People in general, yes. Let's go with that. That's what I meant. Just people in general.
That's the last thing I need somebody to tell me when I'm a
When
little
I'm not
agitated.
calm down. Mm.
I always thought that Sarah was more of a pawn than a lover with Dedra.
Right. Well, I think that was a lot of that still, but obviously there's a different relationship when they're,
Yeah,
off
she's
the
like
books.
just about. She's not spilling the beans, but she's giving him enough that he's like, "A what? I got to leak what?
Yeah.
Something's about to go down."
Keeping him locked in.
Or keep him off his balance.
Yeah, that
And
too.
easy music playing.
You know, one way to grab you and kiss you
So
and
she's like
So
using
This building here with the water outside, I believe, is an actual location in Italy from the article that I saw.
I would love to go see that.
That's pretty cool.
That's insane. Yeah, it's amazing looking.
They did a wonderful job on
If they had Mon Mothma's car parked outside, that would make it that much cooler.
This one cool ass car. I want that.
What's interesting about this location is it is very reminiscent of some of the stuff on Gorman as well, with like those pillars that sort of split into branches.
I love that line. No, don't. They might send someone smart. We'll take the idiot that,
Yeah, we could keep the goofus. It's interesting with all these news reports as well. This is kind of a new thing,
like
for
the
Star
kind
Wars.
of overlay of the voice stuff. Yeah.
And I love how the
metal detectors.
So they're scanning their chain codes, man.
Kirshner, what is
like,
her?
The hair is about beep.
What is Mon Mothma's assistant there? What's his name? Is it
Mon Mothma's assistant?
That guy that she's walking with. Yeah, he's what is his name? Damn it.
No.
Somebody mentioned it in one of the chats earlier.
Kirshner?
He's off now, so he won't be talking. So we won't.
But there's no politics in Star Wars. Sure. No. Erskine.
Yeah.
Erskine.
Actual content.
Well, I love how Erskine actually, it looks very much Rebels accurate.
Oh yeah, in terms of
Yeah,
like the character design.
Right.
Yeah, well, Erskine is shorter than Mon Mothma. He was in Rebels. He was shorter. He had dark hair, but he had a helmet on for most of that episode of.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I need to go back and watch it.
Or whatever it was called.
I just was looking at the still somebody had posted about it. That's as far as I had went. Where was that? I posted that. Let's see. This dramatic music.
Yes. Dramatic music.
Here it is. I think his character has shorter hair in Rebels. And this is totally like the French Revolution kind of thing.
Well, it sounds like they're speaking French, but you're sitting there going like, wait, that sounds French, but it's not French.
French-esque. When they first started talking, when they first introduced them, I was hearing bits of what I thought was German. And then it got very French after that. But I think maybe it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, I was hearing German.
Like that was totally French.
Yeah,
I was watching these episodes with Bridget in the room. She wasn't paying attention, but she was in the room, and I was waiting for her head to perk up because they were speaking German. But I guess not.
Somebody was saying they had when they were watching it, it was doing like their TV or something was doing like the live captioning as opposed to like subtitles, which I'm watching right now, and it was picking up words in other languages like French.
There you go, Chantal. Hired French actor mixed French with German for the language. Well, that makes sense because they do.
The way it sounds, for sure.
Sound very French, but then occasionally it sounds like they're using German words.
it's a mixture for sure, but definitely very heavy on the French, and then sort of interspersed.
And yeah, and they're completely dressed like something out of Hogan's Heroes.
And don't they wear berets too? At one point, that somebody had a beret on,
Yeah.
or will have a beret on coming up. Oh yeah, here we go.
Because you got to think about this. This is getting like, let's say 16 years after Order 66. So people are kind of, less familiar with the Jedi. It's more, hyperbole.
Well, it's the rumors of the space wizards.
Yeah, it's more like legend than it is like known amongst people.
Right. It's not like I know a guy that can, do the magic.
One thing that I've noticed quite a bit, but still not very heavily, is that they've included a lot more species, I think, in this season.
There are the number of the background aliens in this one. There was one of the I can't even remember the name. The guys that are the pilots, really, with like the 4 arms, like you see in Solo.
Mm-hmm.
He just rolled by in the background.
Yeah, there was somebody like that. Also, what's weird about this is this healer gives me totally like original trilogy and Rebels version of Mon Mothma vibes, just like in her look in general, with like the shorter hair and the simple outfit. But so I'm wondering if Mon's going to get some styling cues from her later on.
Well, this would have been the place where you can like Easter egg it or something.
Right. Well, what's interesting is that if we see Mon again, likelihood is she's going to look more like what she does in the Rebels and original trilogy, and maybe even in the prequels that was cut. But I think she ran out of Senate supplied hair gel.
Well, I'm just saying that this lady could have been the original Mon Mothma actress. You could have like put her in.
Oh,
this
right.
And kind of thrown that in and just like, ooh.
I like how she asked if she can touch his shoulder. She's not very, she's not presumptuous. She's very Jedi-like instead of Sith-like.
Yeah. And having that feeling that that's an issue with him, obviously.
I love me some Bix.
Yeah. I'm sad about what happens with Bix coming up.
Spoilers.
Yes.
It's spoilers when it's episode 9.
Mm.
You can talk about 7 or 8, but if it happens in episode 9.
Well, it's spoilers if it's anywhere beyond what's happening right now. But ideally, if you're watching this, you've watched it already. So
because, of course, remember that, on our channel, we have a 48-hour spoiler ban, which we are basically just right on the
very much on the cusp of that. I think we're at 49 hours, literally, when we start this.
That's not a DL-44. Otherwise known as a broom handle.
I love Cassian's his weapon and the way he's able to alter it, sort of similar to how Woody Harrelson's character broke down that rifle and gave it to Han in Solo. It sort of does the opposite with his blaster and creates a like sniperish rifle out of it later on. Spoiler alert. There's a lot of
Chantel, there's a lot of people agreeing with you on that.
Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. This is an intense, incredible 3-episode arc. And this could have easily been in a theater by itself. One thing I'm sort of sad about is that I was invited to an event this Saturday that's going to be episode 8 and 9. screening, and the composer and some of the other people involved, the writer and or director, I think, are going to be there. A couple of Gilroys that aren't Tony and the composer. And but I have other things to do on Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to go. But you really get the soundtrack as a character in these episodes, where they've always done that, where they build on things. And like the first season, the opening built and built and built until the end, when they were actually playing the music in the streets of Ferrix. He's being a creeper. Some of these characters are great. I would love to see more of them if that's possible, but unfortunately for many of them, it's not.
Probably not in the cards, because, we all know where this is going.
Yep. Slappy slap. That's a good one.
Would you like a fresh one?
Brooding music playing. But yeah, the environmental stuff is great in these. I can't tell if that looks like it's healed at all since she had her, when she felt him up, or if it's still similar. But he seems like he might be getting better.
Yeah, he's acting like, okay, this is weird. That's better.
Right.
He looks like he feels like there's a better range of motion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he was in more pain when he tried to move it prior.
Yes, making stuff
Keep
up.
my business out your mouth. When he said that, I thought he said she's a kook as opposed to a cook. Like, oh, she's a kook. Okay, I get what you mean. Oh, wait, she's a cook in the mess hall. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, that's not how the Force works. But wait, it is how the Force works. Oh, we just don't understand.
In terms of being separated from the Force, this show is kind of pretty much as far as you can get in terms of Star Wars so far.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're just not at all familiar with that in terms of a thing or a possibility is very true to the show, I think. The Force. We need a Yoda line here.
That's not the way the Force works.
But
It
in this
surrounds
case,
us and binds us.
it works sometimes.
And then you got crazy violin music.
Yeah, a lot of strings, orchestral music.
They're cooking it up, getting ready at the base in the oven now, man.
Oh yeah. I need to look in the background of some of these scenes and see what pops up. There's a lot of really cool droids in this season. Very different than your standard, R unit.
Well, and you're starting to see your gold painted X-wings here.
Yeah. Well, that's Gold Squadron. Luke's had red on it, so he was Red Squadron. He got to take over Red 5 from that kid that got shot up in around Scarif or wherever it was.
Yeah, in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, dude. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. I can do what I want.
Yep. He's like, see ya. Wouldn't
I
want
love
to
how
see ya.
he's like, the day that you tell me where I gotta go and where I gotta be.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, I'm done. That day is near. There's some more cool aliens wandering around the background. Don't we get an address from an alien? Oh, in the Senate. Oops, spoiler alert.
What?
Now,
You-
is that a new ship? Has he flown that ship before?
I don't know.
I thought he was actually in Luthen's ship at one point, but that may be coming up. I like this troop transport a lot.
Well, then your random speeder bike.
And the new recruits with their gear.
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure enough. Chantel's like, that's his ship from Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
Who
What's it called? Because it's I think that's the set. I think it's a set that Lonnie got recently. And
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Cassian's?
Yeah,
ship?
what he took off from Yavin in.
Yeah, it's a U-wing.
Oh, U-wing. Yeah, that's right.
That's what I lost the freaking trivia on the ship from. What a blessed U-wing was. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's the shot right above us.
Yes, there it is. They look like children. Well, we kind of recruited them and stole them away as baby. No, wait.
I like this guy's scar. I wonder how he got it. We need some more backstory on these characters.
It's like Random Scar Dude, a Star Wars story.
There you go. They could just do a thing about how everybody got their scars.
I do not know, Chantel. I do not know what is wrong with me. It could be the allergies.
Broken.
Yes, I am broken. I am not working correctly. Malfunction.
I love how Cassian's like, you said to come in low.
You said low. That's low.
I'll get as low as I can.
Yeah. Okay. He's not used to flying that way.
This is a cool landscape with that sort of DNA strand little pathway below them.
What? The Imperials? Lambs being led to slaughter other people. That's what their job is.
They signed up for. They're aware.
Oh.
But that's like them being looking like children is sort of reminiscent of all the, war movies that have happened in the last, 50 years. With, 18, 19, and 20-year-olds being recruited to go in the front lines and not necessarily making it out.
Yeah. Everybody's looking for Cassian.
Dodonna. Got to do some name drop in there.
Jandada.
This really impressed upon her, it seems. It's interesting how fast paced they started this season, and then they get to the point where they're doing this kind of stuff where it's slow and methodical and lots of character building and interactions between the characters and thoughts on what's going to happen next. Yeah, they're definitely going to be sacrificed, as it were. But it's not just them. It's their commander dude that's saying that they're green that also is very much part of the problem.
Fodder for the cannons.
Yeah.
And now
what still bugs me about this is that they put up, if you're watching Disney Plus with subtitles on and you hear the French German people speaking Gore or Gorman or whatever the language is called, it says speaking Gore or Gorman or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it says. And then when they're not speaking that, it says speaking English Why English? It should
Right,
say
well,
speaking
galactic.
basic or galactic basic, or not say what language it is. Saying it's English just takes me out of this whole thing.
Yeah, that does. It should say Galactic Basic.
Or just not identify it as a different language. Just it's the normal language that they're speaking. But I guess if you're deaf or hard of hearing, then that may help, but still. Stone and Sky.
But
Oh, there's a cool alien. Ooh, he's got movie eyeballs. Ooh, there's another kind of trippy alien and his
did you see
girlfriend.
the one like earlier? Where it was I forget what like scene it is that they look like they've got these like bougie aliens with the big head with kind of the tattoo shape that they think it's from like that 90s show, The Newcomers.
Love how he has to say his name phonetically. Guja. This guy's got a cool tie too, but his is more like a
Bow tie. He's
sort of
got
bow
shoes.
tie-ish, but sort of like, what is that?
Right.
Ascot.
It's like
Yeah,
the,
sort of like an ascot.
yeah.
He's got bougie bow tie, space bow tie.
Yeah, and he's the being a hotel clerk, concierge, whatever he is, kind of he needs that.
Excuse me.
Mhm. You know the way.
There you
When
go.
was he there before?
Oh,
Those are cool keys. I want to get one of those keys. I wonder how soon Hyperspace Props is going to be making versions of those keys.
come on, let's see it. Well, they've got, of course, the versions of the chain cards right there that
Yeah.
everybody was flashing. Here's my chain
Right.
code.
Well, the ones that they, like you saw Clea 3D printing one. And they're
Right.
thick, which is interesting. Yes, this series is definitely top tier. And cool tie guy on the DL.
All the places.
He's very much like not showing his hand at this point, though. Yeah, see, when was before is what I was wondering. If he remembers Cassian from the last time he was there.
And we assume that he's somewhat in on the deal because he's tipping them off that.
I think that's why he said, he knows he's been here as a spy, even if he didn't recognize him as the designer that he was the last time he was there. I think he was like, yeah, I'm saying welcome back because I know who he is and what he does.
Right. It's sort of a giveaway that he wants the room where he wants it as well, I think. He needs to be near the action.
Uh-oh, false bottom briefcase. There you go.
He's not Varian Sky yet. He's Guja or whatever it said his last name was. Later on, he'll be Varian Sky, or was he Varian Sky in the last time? I might be mixing things up. Yeah, that was it. He was when he was visiting prior. That's right, because he was there before. Wow, I need those things jogged in my head. But now he's a different person. This location seems like it's a practical building as well, as opposed to some kind of set that they built or whatever. I love his little surveillance mirror.
Little selfie stick microphone.
So we can see the troopers outside the window, keeping an eye on things. A lot of tension. Suspenseful music continues. There was something that they show in this. Was it this episode? Probably the next episode. That was like, oh, now that's canon. There it goes. Very much end on a tense note there.
Well, that's don't they all?
Yeah, well, very much so. And with 6.5 minutes of credits, it's a lot. All right, I'm gonna say go to next episode and then pause it, and we'll hold on the Disney Plus logo for a minute. I think we touched on some stuff before when it came to our Bunta Eve event at in Texas coming up in August, and the VIP tickets being sold out. But there's still plenty of regular tickets, both for adults and children under 12 and under, I believe is what it is. And
Right.
Everybody gets cool stuff, and there is food and a bar menu available, so hopefully they have really good libations and things to eat.
Did you say libations?
Said
Libations.
It was such a
B.
good SAT word that he put there.
Wow.
It was like you using hyperbole or whatever earlier.
I would just say, hopefully they get good food and drinks.
But on that note, part of the reason why VIP is sold out.
Vittles.
Vittles, there you go. Tasty vittles. Part of the reason why VIP is sold out is because we have a slew of guests. There is a big amount of guests. Some we've had at our events in the past, and some we haven't. But
we got some new people going too. It's Christopher Sean's amazing. We had him this summer.
He was at Scum and Villainy in Hollywood, and he was a very cool guy, and it was great to see him interact with.
Next to him the whole night.
It was great. Yeah, you were standing in front of yourself the whole night, not even realizing it. But
everybody likes to remind me of that.
He was there, and he was seated next to his Star Wars dad, who was
he'd never met before,
right? Because they're in different shows, different types of shows. You know, Christopher is an animated character from Resistance, and Nelson Lee here is Senator Ziono from Ahsoka, who I heard made up with Chopper at Scum and Villainy, but I don't know if Chopper's on board with that completely. I think Chopper still has him on his hit list. So if he pulls something like he did before, I think Chopper will be ready to throw down. But among the other people we have at the event, we have Anna Graves, who is Satine in was it Rebels and Clone Wars, or just
Clone Wars?
Clone Wars.
So that's very cool. She's also played some other characters.
I don't think she makes it to Rebels.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, she's a great character and might have some interesting interactions with some very well established
other little characters. That this is the one we know her for is Duchess Satine,
right?
Just because of the Kenobi conspiracy theory. But yeah, lots of other little
played a version of Leia. That's very cool.
Senator. She's played in, I think, video games. She's played been Leia's voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks like a video game for sure.
Who else we got?
We got Diana Lee Inosanto. Sorry, I don't want to pronounce her name wrong. The I'm blanking on her character's name.
Morgan Elsbeth,
yeah. Who was sort of a night sister in training, maybe?
Yeah, I think you would probably call her that, or she, at some point, I guess she made it to be full night sister because she.
Well, I think she was a live night sister as compared to the dead night sisters.
Ah,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but she went.
And she's done that in live action and in animation.
Yep, that's very cool that she got to revisit that character, and she went, toe to toe with Ahsoka, pretty hardcore there in that lower scene. You can see there with the Beskar spear that ended up in Mando's hands. but she's very cool. I saw her at one of the live script reads that they did here in LA at Dynasty Typewriter, where they did. So far, they've done the prequels and they've done A New Hope, and she played the Emperor in one of the prequels. It was amazing. But yeah, I got to get a photo with her on her way out of the theater at the end. She wasn't signing anything for anybody because she was under a contract, I believe, at that time for a con or something. So, but it was cool to get a selfie with her. We also have David Ankrum.
That is the voice of Wedge.
Not the
For
actor.
the longest time, I did not realize that was not Dennis Lawson's voice.
Yeah, they've done that a lot.
I thought he was doing an English accent. I mean, American accent.
Right. It's interesting how much they've done, like dialogue replacement for some of that stuff. But yeah, he was in A New Hope and Rogue One, which is really cool to have that connection.
Yeah, I think Troy, you were right. For Anna, I think that was the Disney.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It was a very stylized version. Also, we have Fawn Davis, who was in Japan with us, which was really cool.
Which I have got to get Fawn again because I missed having him sign my Mouser Mecha Catbot McDonald's Happy Meal toy.
Well, and he was also in the second season of ILM, or Light and Magic.
Oh, yes, Light and Magic.
Well, he has been very close to ILM in terms of what he's done over the years, both officially and sort of unofficially, which is very cool.
About getting laid off during the transition time.
Yeah, he's very cool. I ran into him at in San Diego in the Gas Lamp. I think when we were going back to the car prior to the group meetup at the hotel there across the street from the convention center in San Diego, he was wandering through, and we happened to like reach a corner at the same time, and I was like, "Hey, Fawn," because he had already been at Biggs prior to that, so that was very cool. We also have the amazing John Morton,
John
Dak, and also a Boba Fett.
Absolutely.
Which is a pretty cool set of characters to have played. He was one of my favorite people that did a panel at Star Wars Celebration 1 in Denver. And I have some horrible photos because camera resolutions for digital cameras were very poor.
At that point, did your digital camera take a 3.5 floppy?
Actually, at Celebration 1, I borrowed the Sony Mavica from my work that would take 20 JPEG compressed photos per floppy disk, or one single TIFF photo per floppy disk, and took that with me to Denver, and I ended up taking about 400 photos. So that meant I had to change, floppies 20 times or something. Wow. Which was interesting. But I showed him, or I think I shared some of those photos when we had him on one of the watch-alongs at one point, or one of the interviews that he was doing with us on one of our streams, and he was very happy to see those. So I think for Texas, I may try to up-res some of them and maybe print them out for him and give them to him as actual photos, which I think would be a cool memory. Especially, he had mentioned that his daughter was there in Denver, and I think I have a photo of at least one of his daughters with him, and she was like, preteen or young teen at the time, and so that's kind of a cool memory as well if he doesn't have that, from official sources. But he's a, Dak. He was in, what was the movie that he's up in the corner?
He played an astronaut in a movie there, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, but it's like a well-known astronaut-y movie. I remember that. I can't place the title right now. But another Boba Fett that will be in Texas with us, who's been, He's been a lot of characters. He's been Mando. He's been Boba Fett. He's been the dumbass deputy to Timothy Oliphant's kind of sheriff character in Mando, who gets taken out by Cad Bane. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that.
Yes.
JJ Dashna is a great guest. Has amazing stories. Talks about all the different roles he's played as a stunt performer in the Disney Plus shows, and as a stunt, he's like the lead stunt guy. What do they call it? Man,
Stunt
I'm not
coordinator.
That's the word. So it'll be great to have him with us again, and get all the cool Mando and Boba Fett stuff.
Yeah, I gotta decide do I get him? Does he get to sign my Boba Fett helmet? Does he get to sign my Mando helmet? Do I have to have him sign both? It's gonna be crazy.
Got to bring a Rancor for him to sign.
Yeah, bring a Rancor.
And so yeah, he'll be very cool. He has great stories. So just hearing what he's got to say about his experiences is always fun. That's one of the things I've really loved about some of the watch-alongs we've done is some of these people that are, you may not see him. Thankfully for him, he got to be on camera as the deputy, but otherwise you wouldn't know necessarily that that's him in the suit, except having heard him talk. If it's a really hard hit, chances are he was the one in the costume. But another great actor and friend of the channel, Marty Matulis.
Oh, Marty's so good fun.
Who actually did a little bit of stunt work himself in Skeleton Crew, as he told us in one of our recent watch-alongs. He will be there as well, and he was an amazing character, Vane, that actually survived when he wasn't supposed to, probably based on how well they designed the character and how well he portrayed it. I'm sure there was a combination, not just the costume or the makeup, but combination of both that got him to be in Skeleton Crew as well. So hopefully that character will pop up again, maybe in some animation or something. But yeah, he was, or we can see Marty as a rebel or something. That would be really cool, just without the prosthetics.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's still got the time to do that because we've seen him just so much as Vane, and
yeah, I think
he would not be recognizable outside of that.
Well, yeah, you could put him in, just some rebel gear, and he would fit in very well, I think. But he's another great person to talk to and interact with, and hear stories of stuff he's worked on. He's been a lot of interesting characters as well. He was like a chicken character in another movie recently, like a space chicken thing or something. I forget what. I didn't do my homework before the show. But anyways,
I gotta look this up now.
The person who introed our show this evening, Omid Abtahi, who played Dr. Pershing among many other characters. He also was an animated character there in the corner, and other animated characters. And he has that movie, God Forsaken,
American Gods.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Well, God Forsaken, it said above his head. Yeah, so he's been, in a lot of stuff as well. And he was great to talk to at Scum and Villainy. So, and he was nearby Skip while Skip was standing in front of Skip as well.
Yep. Yeah, he was nice.
He's very cool and very personable. And it was great to have him interacting with Katie O'Brien, who on screen, their interactions weren't quite as nice, but in person, they were very cool. So another person we have who is also at Scum and Villainy, Pam Riddle, who's very, very nice and very cool and very sweet in person. And I tend to run into her in different capacities. She was dressed as a Mando.
A horrendous creature that she is right in the middle of that picture.
Yeah, she got Leia's gold bikini kind of looking thing on,
gold
but
bikini,
extra furry. She was standing in that shot. She's standing next to both Leilani and Ariel Shu, who were dressed as Jawas in that episode I think that was from Book of Boba Fett. But she's very nice and plays some great characters. And like I was saying, she has the Mando gear, and she was cosplaying as a Mandalorian at LA Comic Con, maybe even at WonderCon, but I'm not sure. I know she was at LA Comic Con in gear. But she's very nice and cool, and will be great to have join us. Recently, she posted some photos of a character she got made up as that looked like her face had been like partially eaten off or something. It was very freaky looking, but she was all about it, which is fun. It's great that these people.
I'm the rabbit hole over here and looking at like Marty's IMDb, and he has more Star Trek credits than he has Star Wars credits.
Yeah, well, that's not hard to do, but considering. But keep moving here. We have Taylor Gray, Lando Calrissian.
Yes.
Was it the Emperor's nephew or whatever? Ezra Bridger himself, the original Ezra Bridger. No shame on
not
the actor that plays him,
Ezra Bridger.
Stefan Ismondi.
Yeah, exactly. He is also a great guest and has amazing stories and is fun to interact with. I don't know if has he done any of our events other than the streams? I don't think so, right?
No, we've never.
I saw him at ICCC a couple years ago.
Okay, so
yeah, right, but he's never done our event. He's never been.
He's been like adjacent.
Live, we've had him on the shows, but we have not seen him at a live Boonta Eve.
And coincidentally enough, both he and Vanessa Marshall, who plays Hera in Rebels, have been on our show, and then
now they have their own Rebels.
Somehow they have their own podcast about Rebels.
Rebellion.
I wonder where they got. I wonder where they got that idea from. But anyways, that's great that they decided to go that direction and actually, have their own show. And it was fun having them on prior to that. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. And then finally, Warren Pearl Jr., amazing.
He's been
Obi-Wan stand-in actor, and also every other minion, as it were. He played a Tusken Raider. He played multiple versions of Stormtroopers. He's played. He was one of those red trooper dudes in Ahsoka that attacked the group at one point out in the wilderness or whatever. So he was multiple characters, I think, in Ahsoka. But he and Leilani signed my T-16 Skyhopper at Scum and Villainy, so that was a lot of fun. But when I brought my T-16 Skyhopper and one extra to give to Leilani, and he was kind enough to sign that along with her. And cleaning cost extra, I think, is the quote I got on it from Leilani. But that's a stacked Boonta, Texas lineup. So if you are on the fence, the con itself has an amazing lineup, and they announced the headliner on the show yesterday is Emily Swallow. So more amazing Mandalorian folks. So get your tickets to both the con and to the Boonta Eve event, because there's a lot going on.
There will be, completely.
It'll be a lot of fun, and yeah, it'll be interesting to be in Texas, but it'll also be cool to be hanging out with all these cool people. So both in the con and outside of the con. So you never know, some of our guests may show up wandering through the con as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, the zombie trooper right there. I love that.
Yeah,
definitely.
But
let's
get
this show moving.
Let's get ready. It's about
those
we got
of us
another,
that are on the East Coast and it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we got a 40-plus minute episode again to watch, so we're gonna kick it into gear here. So let me throw in the. I see your chat there, Skip. All right, so here comes the countdown. Everybody get ready and get your Disney Plus episode 8 queued up, and here we go. Don't skip any recaps. There's a lot in this particular recap that
yeah, it tells you a lot. But see, look at those windows in that place. That is so Eagle's Nest.
Right. I still have an issue with the Andor logo. The way that they use the negative space for the O,
yeah,
is cool, but the negative space between the N and the D is a little bit wide for my tastes. So I constantly see it, and I've said this ever since I first saw the early episodes, is it looks like it says Anador to me at times. Like ANIDOR
right,
instead
right.
of
You're looking for a negative space I there.
Yeah, it's got enough space that could technically be a negative space I. But it's great how they're doing this recap with the audio over the scenes that are related, but it's not lit like from that scene. Yeah. I've seen her on the terrace. She's creeping on people. Mm-hmm.
Mixing your franchise.
I love this whole thing about keeping it a secret from Cyril.
But she's using him to like snoop and spy and things, but she's just keeping him enough out of the loop to where he doesn't know exactly what's going on.
Spill the beans that they're trying to get them to attack.
Right. Somebody was talking about how ruthless Dedra sort of seemed prior to this, especially this episode where shit goes down. And I felt they kind of shifted a lot of that ruthlessness to that new character that calls her the finger and him the trigger.
Yeah.
With the Scarface. Because that guy is seriously like no remorse, no regret, don't give a crap about anything. He was like into the whole insurgency that happens coming up. Spoiler alert. This episode gets very intense, so I'm surprised they didn't put like a trigger warning up. And see, it's interesting how they continue to sort of evolve the soundtrack, and they have the singing now.
Now, do you think that's a miniature?
Ooh, yeah.
Or is this a city somewhere?
Well, so Gore, the city that they're in, I think that's one of the spots that was in Italy as well. Or maybe this one was in Italy and not the location I mentioned before. Because there was a juxtaposition of like a photo of the actual
like a little
location.
map work.
Yeah, and then they added like a bunch of Star Warsy buildings to it. So I think a lot of that is legit, like buildings, and then they modeled on top of it, or at least the. So this is it. So yeah, pallet jacks are canon in Star Wars now, and K-rail, J-rails. Got to have those Jedi pallet jacks. Move those pieces around. I like how they're leaning into the cape element. Some of these characters have some amazing capes.
Yeah, everybody loves a cape.
And Krennic's still he's rocking like a longer cape in these than he does in Rogue One.
Well, there you go. Again, content.
Yeah, see, there you go.
As that we do not.
Yeah, there's a lot of look at that cool Bluetooth earpiece he's got. That's canon.
There you go. Now the little people walking around with the things in their head all the time. It's like, not listening to anybody else.
It's funny that he communicates with her in a giant room.
Yes,
that's
that
normally
nobody
filled with
else is in, and it's
and she's like in this hall, like closet kind of thing. But yeah, this whole FaceTime thing is kind of a trip.
Yeah, we're gonna do whatever we want, basically.
Yep. It's already enacted. It's just a matter of getting through it. Telling her to calm down, yes. Calm down.
maybe it's a strategy. Maybe he doesn't want her calm. Maybe he wants to get her like fired up. Maybe
here's the other in-world thing now. Molotov cocktails are canon.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I wonder what kind of alcohol they use in those. It's, what clear alcohol that is high
is it
proof.
Jet juice? It's the jet juice.
Yeah, that stuff is
Cantina.
Stuff's mostly literal juice. So
Brian's kicked back in here.
it's interesting that they have the different factions reporting sort of the same thing, but obviously it's, I love how he's playing with the spiders, but it's a sort of a different audience.
Oh, rounding up all the employees.
Report immediately. Put your work attire on. Mm-hmm. Get into the streets. This kind of reminds me a little bit of some stuff that was happening on Ferrix in the previous season with the locals. Now
I don't know. The language throws me.
Yeah, it sounds too French. I'm gonna have to ask Tony about his decision to make it very French. Since I'm not since, but I already had planned on it. But not being able to go to the event this Saturday, which is not going to have Tony Gilroy there, but we'll have the composer and some of the other Gilroys. I already had plans to go to another event at the end of the month with some folks from the group. And at that event, I'm not sure what they're going to show us, but the Q&A will have Tony Gilroy, the actress that plays Bix, the actress that plays Mon Mothma, and the actor who plays Cassian Andor. So Diego will be there, and Tony, and I forget the other actresses' names. Just call her Mon Mothma and Bix. But so that point, I'm trying to try to ask Tony about the language choice.
Well, they did a thing with a bunch of the Andor actors, and Oscar Isaacs actually acted as the MC.
Oh wow!
Meant you no harm. It's
Yeah.
sitting there rapping as a bell.
Yeah, he's like overly aggressive. I meant you no harm. But you can see kind of Cyril's demeanor change here.
As he's realizing he's been used.
Yeah, he's just a pawn. It's not a rumor. Yeah. What kind of a being are you? That's a great line.
See that? Yeah, it's funny that they just don't even know what's up.
I'm surprised nobody helped him up right there because they all should know who he is.
Oh yeah.
But maybe as we move on, somebody did and we didn't see it. This guy's like, I came here to do a job and you need to help me and then we can move on. The trigger supervisor. She's starting to have second thoughts. It's interesting how they have to return the room key, where nowadays when you get those electronic room keys, you don't necessarily have it.
Everybody takes, yeah.
In Japan, though,
I return those. My wife, who travels a lot more than me, just like screw it.
Yeah. In Japan, though, they had a self checkout at the Gracery Shinjuku, where many of us stayed, which is also known as the Godzilla Hotel. And when you checked out, you put your key into the machine, and it wanted both the keys that we had. And then on the way out of the APA next to the convention center, when I was leaving finally Japan that Tuesday after the con, they had a little self-serve like box, and I was like, oh, it's just a slot, and it was actually like an electronic thing that read room you were in.
Well, I think a lot of places in Japan are a lot more conscious of using resources than we are, and like
everything's a waste. They just charge more for it here, and
I left mine in the room.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I like to keep it with me just in case I need to run back to the room for some reason. And then usually that means I leave the hotel with it, especially like in Vegas or any other domestic hotel that I've stayed in the last 15 years or something. It's cool to see the troopers we're more familiar with as well, including these ones with the sort of the AT-AT driver type look.
Right.
Or AT-AT
for some of you. Reminiscent of what they've got going on, or what they had going on Ferrex here. Right. And the cuts and the way they're doing it.
When they started coming in with these smoke things, not that it wasn't obvious that shit was going to go down, but it sort of felt like it was going to escalate quicker because of that.
Good night, Chantel.
You have a good one, Chantel.
I know the feeling, Chantel.
Poor Skip. But how are you enjoying this season versus last season, Skip? Let's go there.
Oh, I enjoy this one a whole lot more. I hated the prison storyline in season 1.
Well, you got Andy Serkis out of it.
Yeah, I didn't really care.
I love this right here. The reveal of Dedra on the balcony and
it's like
Cassian scrambling,
coming together. Where it's been building up all along. It's like they've been over there and they've been over there, but no, they're all in the same place now.
I thought it was. Did we already get the scene where Cassian was walking up the stairs and Cyril was walking down? We must have, right? I thought that was classic too. Yeah, ratcheting up
They got
tension.
so
Indeed.
close to seeing each other again.
Yeah. So, well, again, Cyril's seen Cassian tons of times. He's burned in his brain from that hologram. Cassian's never seen Cyril.
Cassian's like, "Who are you?"
Well, spoiler alert, yes. But
highly volatile insurrection. It's like a bunch of people like with sticks and chanting.
yeah, and smoke and chants. It's like, what? How is that? Like you're sort of playing into it, calling it highly volatile. He's not sure what to make of Cyril at this point. I love how they have to tuck him away. This is an interesting reveal.
Oh, look at that. I've seen those dudes before.
It's funny how you get these KX droids all eyeballing him as he walks in, and then you get the one that continues to.
Yeah, it's just, like
just kind of creepy. Him still looking at him. And Sherry had a good idea who that was, and I'm pretty sure she was right. He's just different in general, although he's very similar later on. It was kind of trippy to see them sort of staged there and then, find out what the reasoning was and see him in action.
Yeah, it's just the whole study, and this is they're creating them and to do everything they want to. It's the back room, the back shadow palpatining of the universe. It's like, oh, I'm these guys over here, but I'm also these guys over here.
Well, it's too bad that we didn't, obviously they were created for Rogue One, but it's too bad you couldn't see some of them wandering the Death Star or something in A New Hope. Maybe they can do a new special edition, the Disney version, and throw in some droids there. This is crazy. When they post up on those stairs, it's about to get real. So that little restaurant, coffee shop, or whatever that they were walking out of or by momentarily ago,
right,
had the sign on the outside in, I guess, is Gore in whatever their language is. It didn't look like Arabesh. It's a very different, more flourishy kind of looking character set. I'm hoping that somebody can make a new font with that. That would be pretty cool. Yes. I love it when they make these in-world fonts that I can then use in my graphics. The green. I like how this guy has his goggles on his head. I think I might have to alter my look slightly. Oh, I gotta take these off first. There we go. Now I'm cool. Got my goggles.
Yeah, and then she's just sitting there looking around going, oh, shit, it's about to go down there, like digging up the concrete and stuff behind. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, you can totally get that vibe that it's about to get real, and then you see this stuff passing the bottles. Do they have space lighters to light those with?
Yeah, this was an interesting scene where he decides to start singing the national anthem or something.
To sort of change up the narrative a little bit. Didn't help, but sing the national anthem or whatever instead. And in their, their language. It's interesting how involved that guy is, the older guy that started singing, considering that he got Cinta shot arguing with that other guy during the heist or whatever that was they were trying to do. That Cassian was there to help him figure out. Yeah, time to post up. You guys are getting too rambunctious.
Kumbaya might work. There you
go. Yeah, it just brings out more of these guys with their shields.
Shit is about to go down.
Navishare to Palmo Square.
And she's just in her little soundproof office.
Yeah, with her scowl. And then, Cassian's like, I need to take the shot. So this whole thing leading up to like him interacting with her, I totally saw Cassian trying to take the shot and missing, or whatever, Cyril stepping in front of her inadvertently and getting shot, but that's not what happens. That's kind of what I was thinking was going to happen, but
yeah, but he's like, whoa.
Yeah, now he's serious. It's crazy right here. So we had sexual assault in previous episodes.
He was like this. We were worried about him being like this last season, but that went away.
Yeah, he calmed down a bit. But he's like, look at this. This is
not cool. This is like, wait.
Serious domestic violence.
Yeah.
He's finally realizing that he's not privy to everything that's been going on.
And he's just like, what?
Look at this. She's shaking.
Like, I've known this the entire time.
Yeah,
exactly, Sherry. This is like,
it was very hard to watch.
It's the realism and things. It adds the level of realism that they want this to add to it, but it's the kind of realism that we know is in the world, and we find it hard to be in our Star Wars, which is our like escape. But
yeah, when you come back to real world issues.
Well, this is not A New Hope.
No, it is not. And I mean, that's the point, is it's inserted there and done that way on purpose, just to make this be completely different.
Star Wars for everyone.
It's a variation. What's interesting is this season has been getting a lot of sort of rave reviews just because it's straying away from the standard so much, I think. This is not a good idea, fellas.
Yeah.
But what's a trip is what the reveal that comes up here, because, I thought, knew shit was going to go down, but wasn't, fully aware that it was going to go down because of and in the way it did. See, what's interesting about that is I thought he might have been, well, I guess he's interacted with a lot of these people already, but him coming over the barricade into the crowd, I thought he might have got a different reaction from the crowd, like them would maybe give him more of a hard time.
Well, yeah, Sherry, it always was kind of the gritty. It's not the perfect world that Star Trek is, but it was still
utopian,
like a more positive kind of fantasy than this.
Yeah, this has got a lot of down notes.
Well, yeah, and there you're,
Yep.
riot police.
Yep. Riot police are canon as well. The calf house. It's not the cat house. It's the calf house.
Oh, it's the calf. You gotta have the calf. It's all about the calf.
Yeah.
It's like Space Starbucks. I told you.
Yep. I wonder if that's what it says. So I knew once these guys started throwing stuff, it was going to devolve very quickly. And he's got his little zappy stick.
The ultimate evolution is about to come up, which is
they're trying to prune them like in Loki with those sticks.
Like I said, then fodder for the cannons.
Mm-hmm. Well, they still haven't revealed it, but sniper fodder.
Right, and then stormtroopers are just like, we're not doing anything.
I like how the stormtroopers are sort of, all together up there, but they're not very organized in terms of how they're arranged on the stairs.
Right.
Makes it seem a little bit more creepy. And I love the whole point of not even seeing any of that conversation and just hearing what her orders are for the next step. There he is.
No.
Star Wars sniper.
And the first one is not a Gorman.
Nope, that's why. It gives the troopers a reason to react. Spoiler alert.
Like, oh no.
More low-flying TIE fighters.
Run away, run away, run away.
His whole presence there just weirds me out as this continues because...
Well, he was told to leave. I thought she had him like on a plane back to Coruscant or the Starfreighter, whatever. No.
Wink. Ooh, and there's one. And then this guy, he shoots over his right shoulder, but he looks to the left
to
shoot this guy who's got a flag in his hand and not a weapon. And then all hell breaks loose. Yeah, let's get the point blank shots. People that are turning away from you. That's actually
right. And just people, you pull blasters out of the crowd.
Now here's the thing I was talking about earlier. This combo kind of rifle that turns his pistol into a rifle.
Yes, those are frowned upon. Those have specialty licenses.
Wink. There goes a trooper. Wonder who did that stunt. Probably not anybody we know because this was shot.
Yeah, this is in
across
England.
The pond. And so was that guy. But see, like that window has that writing in gold. I wonder what that says. Probably says calf. Calf shop.
Nobody's just taking out the stormtroopers.
They're getting hit here and there, but not very well. Here we go. If you're going to aim right, maybe you get one. Here, Wilmon, he's got a couple. But everybody kept their head up too much, except for this guy who's freaking out completely. But like especially Cyril, who's just standing in the middle of it while he's like R2 and C-3PO at the beginning of A New Hope, just like surrounded by blaster fire. Looks like plink, plink. So now the sniper dude, I wasn't positive as to who he was continuing to shoot. Was he going after more troopers or was he going after the gore?
I don't know.
Bastards.
Oh, took that dude out.
They show him take out a few more people here coming up. Ooh, dead guy.
Oh, let's see what's up there.
That was the guy that was singing the national anthem, wasn't it?
Mm.
Oh, here goes
Molotov cocktails. Ooh,
now, was that cannon before? Did they use those in Rogue One? I want to say they did.
Remember. And this guy with his smirk on his face where he's like totally into it. He doesn't care who's getting shot as long as somebody is. Ooh, that was hardcore too. People getting taken out and right next to you.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, boink. Owie. It's also interesting to see how many of these people take shots that seemingly could be injuries as opposed to death, life-threatening.
I guess we don't really, like understand exactly the way the blasters work, man.
Right. Well, like this guy, he just took a shot to what? His torso. Yeah. So that's more survivable than a shot to the shoulder? I don't understand. Grimish. That's an interesting name. Look at that. I was just like, take her out. Take her out.
Yeah, it's one of those like the things you're watching movies like shoot.
Just shoot. Fire a few times. Ooh. Uh-oh, and here comes
Here we go.
The enforcers coming out to clean things up, but
Oh,
I love this. Boink. Oh, geez, that was not pleasant. Oh.
When did droids get all like, bulletproof?
Yeah, they are very indestructible. Maybe they're cost prohibitive or something, which ultimately is why the Empire doesn't. Look at this, just toss her. Look at that. Oi, doink! Just snapped her.
Well, I mean, at least they were that level of realism to that, because
yeah, that kind of a
Marvel, they got up and lived.
Right, would have dusted themselves off and moved on. See the way that he's just standing there amongst all of this chaos. I'm like, he's got to take some fire without, caring. He's like just sort of like there. Everybody else is getting shot, and he's like just. Insanity. Then he's seeing what the results of his actions are. He thought he was doing good or whatever, from a certain point of view. But nope. It's not cool. Oh, this guy, I love this. He told those people to clear out, and then he's like, "Oh, time to toss the grenade."
Oh,
she could. Yep, and then took out a few troopers. Start the explosions. It's interesting that those droids aren't doing more in the space. And then Cyril sees Cassian.
Like, that dude.
I know that guy. Come on, shoot.
Oh.
And then, this fight is intense.
Oh.
This is a brutal fight. Look at that. Oy.
Cassian's just like
smacking his head into the ground. More choking. There's a lot of weird mouth stuff.
Choking, biting.
Cyril's on a choking kick. This, I was like, okay, what? He's going to grab that and
whatever that was.
Just slows him down a little bit. Some sort of grain container. Boom! Damn! Just hit him with a
the metal chair. Went all WWE on him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It wasn't even a folding chair. It was like a big old heavy stand of a chair or bar stool or whatever. Look at that. Just throw random shit. Ugh! Look at this. It's a very sort of back and forth fight. Definitely not one-sided, although Cyril was besting him at first. I love these windows.
Hey,
yin yang thing going on.
Kaboom.
It's definitely one of the most brutal fights in Star Wars, if not the most brutal hand-to-hand combat that we've seen. Look at this. This whole, the rest of the scene is like, I was very much not expecting the way it ended. And now he's coming to the realization.
Oh yeah, that was the definite nail in the coffin. Who are you? You mean you don't know who I am?
It's like, oh yeah, I know you, but you don't know me. Up, and now I'm dead.
It's like, whoa, that was left field right there.
Yeah. Especially with the old dude doing it. Pretty hardcore, though. Get the hell out of there. Who was that guy?
Yeah, it's like we still don't know. And Dedra's gonna piss.
Like, that's the guy who was hunting you the entire last season.
Yeah.
For at this point, what, 3-4 years, 4+ years,
something like that.
Ugh.
Your lover is dead on the ground.
Yeah, she's not sure yet.
She don't know, but she is gonna she's gonna lose it.
And now they're out in the streets. Yep. The radio. Her brother's dead.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. Uh-oh. This place is getting nuts.
Yep.
Oh,
people getting trampled. Oh, and tossed like rag dolls. Yep. Jesus. Oh, just clotheslined off of scooters. These guys run fast too.
Yeah,
they're just tossing fools left and right. Look at that. Slap them down.
Ooh.
Taking blaster fire and not
just don't care.
Cassian. Doink, doink.
There it is.
Heavy bulletproof, though. It's interesting how bulletproof the K2 or KX droids are. And there's his brother. Is that his brother? Is that a different guy? I love how he doesn't do anything until he is pretty sure that.
Right. He doesn't like back up or anything.
That droid is done. I might have rammed him again if I was driving that thing. Yeah, split him in half. That's pretty good. Except taking his head off would be where I would have went. But it's interesting how that. Yeah, you're the one who got what's her name killed, dummy.
No.
I do like that they did more than just deco with like that Imperial cog. It's like built into the side. Very cool looking. I wonder what the base of that vehicle was. Then you see random like British people just running through the streets or French people. They look a little out of place. Help me.
One more thing.
Oh, yes. Wait, there's more. We need to scoop this guy up and put him in the back. Keep an eye on him just in case. I half expected him to wake up while he was transporting him.
Right. It's like, oh. I mean, these droids come and go, I guess. Some of them last, and some models. I guess the Empire isn't around, so these droids aren't as common.
Maybe they're deployed to different areas, not everywhere.
Oh. And another one.
Yep.
Likes the dust.
Lots of death. So many great rebels, as it were, got taken out in this.
Waste of human life.
With these long shots of this character's just feeling this whole thing. Surprised they're not being cleared out of the. Like, why isn't there somebody coming in to take him out?
This is where Wilmon connects to his humanity. He was losing it when he was hanging with Saul, and now he's connected back.
Yeah. Look at that. Crying for the people of Gorman. Yeah, these buildings are very kind of interesting with the copper roofs or whatever they got going on.
Stark Tower.
Avengers Tower? Oh, wait. No, it's Thunderbolts Tower. Have you seen that? Spoiler alert. Different property, but... And then Dedra actually having... Like, so this scene was in the trailer.
It's like, wait.
And everybody was like, she's getting choked out virtually by Darth Vader for doing something wrong. It's like, nope, not even close. And their hands shaking. She's just freaking out.
But did she
Lover Boy is gone.
Seen that he's dead yet, has she?
I don't think so. Did she hear that he was in the plaza or what, or hadn't left the building or something? I think if she hadn't already, she's going to hear that right now. It's interesting that they aren't giving the reporters a hard time. So then here with Edie, people were saying they thought that maybe Dedra had communicated with Edie.
Oh.
Or was she informed?
I don't know why. Why would she? I don't see her caring enough to have called mom yet.
Right. What I want to see is her having to face her. All right. Well, there's the episode. That was intense.
It is. I mean, we got what we knew was coming, but it'll be very interesting to see what the next 3 episodes bring. Where does the storyline go?
But it was like that. I would love to see the juxtaposition between Dedra putting Edie in her place when she came to visit versus now she's gotten her son killed, directly or indirectly. And her, the upper hand at that point being in Edie's kind of court.
Well, the mother is going to be all about her own victimhood, so I don't think she's
going to... that too, yeah. I have a feeling we likely won't see her again.
What happened to me as to whether she, claps back at him and just go,
Right. Maybe she'll become part of the rebellion now.
Well, I'm looking forward to next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a bittersweet to wrap up the season so quickly.
Yep.
Well, and of course, though, but don't forget that this is 2 of 3 episodes that you guys have got to watch.
Oh, yeah, we still got one more tomorrow night. Where is that? I got that graphic over here somewhere. Tomorrow night with the other half of the Watch Along crew. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific with Mark's off this week, so it'll be Ashley, Sherry, and Sarah. And they will go over the Mon Mothma heavy episode. We barely got any, or did we even get any Mon Mothma in this episode? A little bit, or we got it in the last episode. Anyways,
a little bit, but not as much as like the first sets of episodes that were just Mon Mothma all the time.
Right. So I think that they went heavy in the next episode, episode 9, partially because her fleeing, and maybe we don't see a lot more of her. But like Skip mentioned earlier, the likelihood of seeing her in Yavin is pretty high.
Right. I think so.
But
where she's living.
Yeah, we will see what's going on with that.
Wow.
Yep. Intense.
Very good. Very good.
Definitely a different vibe than the majority of last season. So I'm going to pause mine. And
well, we got lots of events coming up this summer. Everybody find something to do. Have a good time. It was great seeing you all at Celebration in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I got my Japan Star Wars Celebration shirt on, although I can't read it, but I know what it says.
Yes, exactly. I have no idea.
And yours is even more
it's
than
very
mine.
Japanesey.
Which is
Star
makes it
Wars.
extra cool. So, all right, let me stop that clock. And we will, on that note, let's Skip get to bed.
Yes,
shortly.
Friday night, Skip.
And we hopefully you guys, yes, like Sherry said, you have to watch tomorrow first before next Tuesday.
Yep.
So tune in with them and hear what they have to say about Mon Mothma and where it's going. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about the episode of Rebels that basically.
It's great that it's a girls' night because it is definitely a Mon Mothma
centric for sure.
Centric episode. So
and having that direct tie-in to her, leaving the Senate and then being escorted by the Ghost crew later on, and having that speech coming up kind of makes it more poignant.
Yep.
So it's great that they were able to connect the dots and build on that more and more. It's really cool. So, but anyways, anything else?
Good night, everybody.
Let's talk about some sponsors for Bunta, Texas.
Yeah,
we didn't show them, but these are some of our great sponsors. And if you have an opportunity to get anything through them, definitely do it. There's some great options there with cosplay wigs,
your wigs, your international travel, your entertainment, all of the things, right?
Lots of stuff.
And sit down and light a candle for Cyril.
There you go.
There you go.
Pour one out for Cyril. Pour out a Molotov cocktail for Cyril. And on that note, we will see you guys next week for episodes 10 and 11, and followed by Friday viewing of episode 12. And then we'll be done with Andor. And we'll have to have, I believe the following week will be
we gotta go do Rogue One, right?
Rogue One watch along, and then the following week after that will be a episode 4, A New Hope watch along. So get, these kind of prepared us for the idea of a nice long episode, a 2-hour movie, as it were. So on that note, from Skip, Dave, and myself, we will see you next time. May the Force be with you.
Always.